yesterday I did a video on just general clothes to wear if you're a farmer. And this morning we had our first real snow. I think we've got 3 inches so far. Usually it doesn't stick until after Christmas. But it will be in the single digits this week. And in the winter here, our average lowest temperature is 30 below zero. So once we get into January, usually it's about 10 below, mostly, 10 to 18 below. So for those of you who live in cold climates like this, having a fancy coat to run into town with is good, but at home you need to have, pardon me, you need to have a whole ensemble of things to wear, because depending on what kind of work you're doing and what the weather is and how cold it is. This last year I bought a coverall, so if you've seen those things that mechanics wear, this one, it's all one piece, and at the bottom the leg zips up so that you can get your boots in and out without having to take your boots on and off, and then it just zips all the way down, and then it has these really good buttons that button over your boots. When it gets down into single digits, that's what I wear if I know I'm going to be outside for a while. It gets a little bit warm after being in it for about 5 minutes, unless it's really cold outside. But it keeps your clothes from getting dirty. The other thing I do if it's really cold and I don't want to have to get in and out of this, because it is kind of time consuming to get in and out of it, what I'll do is wear long johns underneath my clothes, but it means you have to keep your house a little bit cooler, which I guess isn't a bad thing. We have a wood stove, so if I've got the wood stove cranked up, I don't want long underwear on. Because when you're out in that kind of cold, unless you're just moving between a car and a building, you actually can get frostbite. I've had frostbite on my thighs before, where my pants were tight enough that it was they were pretty exposed to the cold. And then these are some of my favorite gloves. They're actually for winter biking, for like pedal biking, and I love them because you have fingers that are together, so they keep each other warmer, but you still, if you had mittens on, you wouldn't have a lot of dexterity, but with these you can still do just about everything you have to do and your hands stay cold, or hands stay warm. And I don't like down gloves. They get just a little bit too warm. These are just regular stuffing and some leather and some grip protection. If I'm doing really hard labor, I have to have leather gloves. For moving hay or for building fences, puffiness doesn't really work in those instances. So hopefully when it's that cold, you won't have that much work to do. You'll already have it done. But sometimes it still comes up. For hats, stocking caps work fine, I guess, if it's not really cold. But what happens is, as it starts to get colder, the cold will creep in around your neck, and it'll get your cheeks really cold. So this one was one that I found a pattern for and I knitted. And it goes down so it tucks into your coat, and it protects your neck and it protects your cheeks, and you can fold this down if there's a lot of wind. And also I felted it, which means I just put it in hot water. It's wool, and I knitted it myself, so it's the right size, but I felted it too, so that the pores get smaller and it keeps the wind out. This is my favorite go-to hat, and I have a pattern for it, and I'll see if I can find the name for it, because they're good patterns. And then I always have, if I don't have a sweater, I have something like this, because you need to, even if you have a good coat, you want something between you and the coat, because if cold air gets up in between the coat and you, it's nice to have another layer on. And this is my favorite. It's just an insulated, like, men's work shirt type of a shirt. And it's hard to find them for women, so you just go for like a small men's size. And then they don't really make good coats for chores anymore. Even like the Dickies and the Carhartt type coats, they don't keep the wind out very well. They used to make really good coats, but now most of them are from China and they're not so good. This coat is probably older than my mom. I got it from my grandma. I had to put a better zipper in, a more industrial strength zipper. But what it is on the outside, it's a waterproof, windproof material. And then on the inside it's down. And then on the other side of that, next to the nylon layer, that is also water windproof. And so that's another reason why it's nice to have another layer on, is so you have something next to your skin that breathes, otherwise you can get a little sticky in this. And it has a drawstring so that you can draw it up around your waist so that it's tight, so again that wind isn't coming up underneath. Anyway, it's really hard to find good coats like this. You don't want a shell and then a liner. Those, they don't keep the wind out good enough. Unless you've got on lots and lots of layers. So something like this that's older, or the army style coats, you want it to fit really good and close around you, and one layer of polar fleece as a liner just doesn't cut it. And you want it to be long. This one, see how long it is on me? It comes down and just about covers my thighs. And you want it long. You want everything to be long enough. You want it to be able to button it up close around your neck. Otherwise, your shorts kind of become a bit of a pain. Okay, boots. In the winter especially, you don't want to be taking all that snow and nasty gick in with you. So my boots zip up. These are not my favorite boots. These are Harley Davidsons. I bought these because I wanted to be able to resole them. But the problem with them is that the heel is too high. And if you have knee problems or back problems, you don't want to be tipping forward onto your toes. So I wear these when I'm digging holes for trees or something else that's really hard on boots. But the same goes for winter boots. You want something you can get in and out of really easy, that don't really compress your feet down. You want to have room for extra socks. I like to wear the just regular, let's see if I can show you. These are just regular hiking boots that are kind of my go-to boots right now, because these ones, again, their heel is just a little too high, and I start to have back problems when I wear them. The other thing, no matter what time of year it is, I always want to have a Leatherman on me. And I like to have a pouch, because even the ones that have the little tab on the side that you're supposed to be able to put on your belt, a lot of times those flip, and I'm always losing my Leatherman that way. So a pouch is better. It just fits on your belt. I have saved animals' lives with this before. They get caught in a rope, or they get caught in a tree, or what else have I done? Anyway, I like the ones with pliers inside of them, because I use them to fix fences and to do up wire, and I like the ones with the screwdrivers, just because you never know when you're going to use something like that. But the knife is the most important part. It just means you don't have to go back into the house for a knife. You always have it on you. Anyway, that is winter clothing, and there's probably other things I'm forgetting about, but anyway, there you go.